We need an intro, dude.
Oh, welcome back to Lampcast. We're talking about miscellaneous topics to kind of round out the year. We did this stupid shot on a stair. It's Harry.
Believe it or not, this was the most practical way to do this.
Yeah. Okay, so starting things off, what's your most disappointing?
Mine was Animal Collective song.
That's actually, I was just about to say,
Yeah.
retroactively, now that I'm a big fan of Animal Collective, that album sucks dick.
Really, it wasn't a horrible album by any measure, but it was still disappointing because of Animal Collective. This
Yeah.
is just the same thing, isn't it?
It just felt like they got complacent.
What am I listening to?
It was-
Connor Oberst?
It was, yeah, that's probably retroactively the review I disagree with from me the most. I think it's okay. The Life of Pablo was disappointing because personally,
Yeah.
I know College Dropout and Late Registration are fantastic, but personally, I vibe most with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Jesus, and sort of come off of what I consider his two best records to a really spotty, originally unfinished album is just kind of, it's disappointing. And so I guess that one was one. Blank Face was disappointing in its own way. Not that I expect so much from a Schoolboy Q record, because I mean I like Oxymoron and Habits and what is it? What's the first one? Habits and.
I've never listened to that.
Real, I thought
They're good. They're good.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
fantastic. They're good. But Blank Face went new and exciting.
Blank
and
Face had some great
so
tracks.
many of the
I've got a
songs
Blank
were some
Face,
of my
baby.
favorite songs of the year.
Oh yeah.
Straight Ballin', Ride Out, Blank Face.
Oh, Groovy Tony. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
said Blank Face, I meant Groovy Tony. And just for the rest of the album to not deliver on that, it was disappointing. And then, but then for me, number one, most disappointing,
Open Like Eagle.
Open Like Eagle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Black
because
Comedy-
dark comedy is so fantastic.
Incredible.
And then a special episode, like I'm not gonna say it's better because it's kind of short.
Oh, yeah.
But like built on that.
It fell so short of every expectation I had for it. It had like 3 good songs though. HJJ was also disappointing for me.
AJJ. That album, these guys are all kind of disappointing. But I think I kind of listened to it a lot. Like, I fell in love with Small Red Boy first. I fell in love with the Small Red Boy. I think that album sort of grows on you. Like, it still has the HHA wit and sort of quick, sharp tongue, you know what I mean? The thing that I had with it was needlessly edgy. Like, even more needlessly edgy than the first few albums were.
Yeah.
Especially the People Pound, oh my god.
Views.
Because Drake comes off of his best project yet with If You're Reading This, and to release this huge, bloated, just
Disgusting.
awful
Also,
album.
it fucking polluted the airwaves with the shitty
Oh, yeah.
dance hall.
Don't
Drake
make
is a
fun of
huge fuckboy. Drake is, okay, my analogy for Drake is a pizza with onions. I don't like onions, but I will still eat the pizza.
That's like,
But Views is just biting into a raw onion.
It's just a big fucking onion.
I'd like to talk about a little bit more is this was in my top 10, but Wildflower. You know? That
Want to
album-
move into
That
the
was
underrated?
disappointing. Are we
underrated?
talking about? I'm gonna wait. It's a good transition into underrated because I think it's disappointing. Harry thinks it's underrated.
I'm with Harry on this one.
Ooh,
I
are you with him or?
I didn't.
Choose a side! Captain America Civil War,
I
let's
think
go,
It's
idiot!
my number one album of the year.
Their first album's so great, and then Frankie Sinatra I thought was a great single, and then the album dropped, and it was one of 2016's bloated releases.
It was.
in my opinion. I just
2016 will go
2016.
down as the bloat year.
it kind of will
Legend
though.
Goblin.
Blonde was fantastic but bloated. The Life of Pablo was bloated. Views was incredibly bloated.
Q was bloated.
Q was bloated.
Carsey Henderson moderately bloated.
Oh,
Slightly
I wouldn't
bloated.
Say that.
Slightly bloated.
I'd say it's a little.
All right, so underrated. What do you guys have as something not overlooked because we're doing that next.
Yeah.
But underrated. So people heard it and most people said meh or that's pretty good and you loved it.
Okay, back to Wildflower. That was exactly what it was. I think we might have said enough about it, but I gotta give him a more positive angle. So I see where he's coming from with the bloated, because in the middle of it, like around track 9 or 10, there's a little bit of a soft area. But then there's sort of Biz Marquis' verse,
Yeah.
which is really awesome.
I
Which
think
is
a lot
just
of
such a fun song,
Yeah.
you know?
My underrated album of the year.
Then the Wazir of Is, that's a great song.
Well, I mean, I understand why people wouldn't like Frankie Cosmos, but I still I still listen to it more than I did any other record this year. I don't know. I like some of the choruses are kind of lame, but I especially love where she's like, I drink bad coffee. Hope that you call me.
Mine's a lot different than the rest of yours. Mine's Dillinger Escape Plan's last album, Dissociation. They kind of created a genre unto themselves in this mathy, metally world where they were able to be so brutal but so melodic. I don't know, like this album actually retroactively got me into Dillinger Escape Plan. I'm not going to pretend I was very familiar with their discography beforehand, but after that I went back, I listened to One of Us is the Killer, I listened to Miss Machine, I listened to Calculating Infinity, and I was like, this is all fantastic. And they become one of my favorite metal bands through this album. It really got me into them. And it's a fantastic send-off. Even though some of the songs don't hit, those songs don't hit because they're clearly trying something they always wanted to try, and they knew this was their last opportunity as a band to try this, so they figured why not. And so a lot of it does hit, like the more Mastodon, Crack the Sky type singing on some of the songs. Like Symptom of Terminal Illness. Albums that not enough people heard. I know Harry's.
Okay, just in between this happens, Jimmy Eat World put out an album this year. Don't listen to it. It was bad. That is all.
It just takes some time.
My overlooked were 2 rap records. The Impossible Kid by A$AP Rock, which
I agree.
I don't think in like hip hop head circles it was probably kind of very much noticed. But I feel like the general mass didn't really appreciate it. I think it's a great record. And Joey Perk, Triple Eye Drops.
Yeah.
Love that mixtape.
Especially, I feel like it got love when it came out, and then at the end of the year, not enough people were talking about it.
That was my number 11. It just missed the cutoff, but I love that record, mixtape.
Yeah.
Very excited to see what he has to do.
Drug Dealer, End of Comedy. I liked it a lot. So for this album, it reminded me a lot of sort of the old George Harrison style and sort of a little Beatlesy, all the Ringo songs and George Harrison songs of the Beatles. But it was just a really good album. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought the Tony Molina album, I guess considering it's only 12 minutes long.
He doesn't get enough love overall.
Yeah, well, it's because like if you fucking blink, the record is over.
Yeah.
But I thought...
I never even heard about this release.
Yeah, no, I think it's got a lot of cute ideas, and I think that if he develops this... I think if Tony Molina like waits like a couple more minutes before he drops an album, then that'd be fine. Like,
But it took him 2 years. His last album was in 2014.
He's got a very high margin for error.
Dissed and Dismissed came out in 2014, and it was 12 minutes long. And then Confront the Truth comes out in 2016, and it's
I bet it's probably because he works at McDonald's or something.
No, yeah, he definitely has a regular job.
And it's hard to write an album.
You know what? Floss was overlooked too.
You sure?
Floss was very overlooked.
Yeah. Injury Reserve doesn't get taken seriously enough, I think.
Which is stupid.
Well, I mean, it's because they have dumb names.
My overlooked album is Street Sex. They're sitting at 9,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jesus.
If you're up for any sort of, I guess, I mean, it's not that challenging, but any sort of challenge, I would absolutely check this album out. Give them the support they deserve. They got one review from Anthony, and like they got featured in like a metal column on Pitchfork that nobody reads, and they don't get enough love. So, what's some of the worst stuff you heard this year?
Kanye. I can't get behind Life of Pablo. I cannot.
I thought the Charlie XCX EP was one of the worst things I heard this year. The chipmunk vocals annoyed me so much.
I actually only listened to Nightcore this year.
Oh, so everything I heard was awful.
I liked all these albums, but I only like their Nightcore versions.
I think the fact that Lil Peep's getting taken seriously is shameful.
What's that
That's
guy's name?
Pitchfork's fault.
I thought the La Tigra song that came out in
And almost every political.
No, Thomas Yonkers.
I think we listened to this one. I thought the Hines album was pretty incompetent.
Well, it's just cause it's like, wow, I fucking work hard to be a musician.
Yeah.
And like they just like got
It was frustrating. It was incompetent.
Very frustrating,
Yeah. Beginning of this year especially was way down with a lot of boring indie pop.
Oh my god, you're right, Porches.
Halos and Halos spelled weird with all capital
Yeah, fuck
letters.
fuck that naming convention. Okay?
And
spell your band name normally, you asshole.
And Porches. I didn't like either of those.
Do not name your band 3 exclamation points.
I am
do
getting on
not know
top
how
of my
that is
old man
pronounced.
soapbox. I'm telling all you fucking kids how it's done.
And 3 of the worst rap projects I heard this year, I guess besides Lil Peep, were Kevin Gates, Sparkmaster Tape, and A$AP Ferg. Who A$AP Ferg I'm disappointed in because you at least expect a good time when you go into a Ferg tape. Like, it's not going to be good, but it's going to be funny. What's like the weirdest thing you heard this year that made you go, what am I doing? I would say Juke Geit gave me a headache. Tanya Tagach, the throat singing lady, I hated that too. Those were the weirdest, like, it scratched my head. Why?
But like about concerning my number one album of the year by which on my list, which was J. Cole.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I didn't say that. Fuck J. Cole. That record was bad.
Fuck J. Cole.
I just have a list of albums that I didn't listen to this year.
That. Please don't do that.
Because our end of the year is coming up next. As like a disclaimer of albums I didn't listen to. And so, play the music. Here we go. The OC's second album. Sleigh Bells, Jim James, ASAP Mob, Opeth, Pixies, Francis and the Light, Jenny Hval, Nicholas Jar, Mick Jenkins, Ty Dolla $ign, Level Up, Devandra Bonhart, Mono, China, No Joy, Bad Bad Not Good, Gojira, Aphex Twin, Mitski, Case Lang, Bears, Xenia, Rubinos, Pup, Olga Bell, Marissa Nadler, Nothing, Shiny Pink, Ultra Blast, James Blake, Holy Ghost, Dalek, Wire, Deacon, Tim Hecker, Japanese Breakfast, The Body Full of Hell Split, Iggy Pop, Swain, Show Me the Body, Moon Sorrow, Gorguts, Cano, The Drones, Lemon, Demon, Titus Seagal, Boots, and Load.
And it's over.
There you go. Stay tuned for our Album of the Year list video.
I am dead!